What's up everybody, Ryan Kelly here, and today I want to talk about photography and personal finance. So personal finance is a really important thing, not just for photographers, but for anyone. Personal finance allows us to manage our money in such a way that is smarter for the future. So when it comes to photography, the first things or with any work, starting a photography business, the first thing that I would say is pay yourself first. So what that means is when you get a paycheck and let's say you have maybe $1,000 in debt, you're gonna get some of that paycheck and you will automatically take 20, maybe 30% of it and pay off that debt. Before you go saving, before you go spending it on hanging out with friends and eating food, you're gonna pay the money either to your debt or to your savings. Pay yourself first. And another thing with that, kind of paying yourself first, is thinking a little bit more frugally when you spend money. So this means maybe eating at home and not going out with your friends, because obviously going out with your friends, it's, let's say you go to dinner, it's like $10, maybe $15, and if you do that, maybe let's just say 2-3 times out of the week, that's, $30, $45. And if we change that to eating at home, we can make this a lot more cheaper. You could maybe spend $30, maybe even $20 for a whole week's worth of food, depending on what you're buying and what you like eating. So when you're using this method of paying yourself first, it always helps because you're always saving your money or putting money where it needs to be first, not where you believe or you think you need it to go, because you need to focus on the things that really require the most of your money, and that should be your savings and paying off debt. The second thing I did want to talk about is investing. Now, investing is a little bit hard, especially if you're really new into things, and especially if you're new into photography and business, because you're trying to focus on, taking pictures and building your portfolio and having a website and all these different things. But I would definitely like to say is that think a little bit about investing. So let's go back to that paying yourself first. That little bit of money that you take away from your savings, whether it's maybe 20%, maybe 30% of your paycheck, you're gonna put that into an investing vehicle. And this is a lot of different things, and there's a lot of different ways to go about it. A lot of people often think that investing is like a really difficult, big brain thing, and really it can be a lot simpler than you think it is. The easiest way to do this is to put your money into ETFs, or something that kind of watches the market and many businesses as a whole. So you're betting on the market and not a single business. The other way to go is through an app called Acorns. Acorns is a really interesting app because all you kind of do is that you just put money into the app and it will kind of automatically invest that for you, and depending on what kind of portfolio you want, it will create a portfolio that is fitting to you. If you want to be more in control of these things, then the apps like Webull and Robinhood are apps where they give you the data and you have to do your own work in researching the business and kind of knowing what you're purchasing, when to purchase things. And there's pros and cons to these. If you want me to make another video about the pros and cons to Robinhood, let me know. But mainly the biggest thing is that you decide, you have the control of where you want the money to go. And this always helps, and this is always nice. Controlling your money, you know exactly what's going on. So if you make a mistake, you can learn from your mistake, as opposed to going towards something like an ETF or Acorns. You don't have the control and someone else is doing that. So say you lose some money, you say, how did I lose that money? Well, all you can really see is, well, the stock market in general kind of went down and therefore my portfolio went a little bit down. As opposed to Robinhood, you can say, made a mistake, fix this mistake because this is something I need to learn more, or this shouldn't do this anymore. If you want to go check out Robinhood and Webull, they're great apps that give you total control over investing. Go check them out below. I'll have some links down there that you can get a free stock with it. So it's free money. Who doesn't want free money? So go ahead and use those links down there, and they'll definitely help you out. Another investment vehicle that's always great for small businesses and just people in general is a Roth IRA, especially if you're going the business route and self-employment route. A Roth IRA is really great because monthly you will put in money into an account, a Roth IRA account, and this money will make money with the market. And at the age of 59, you are then allowed to take that money out and use it for whatever you want. So as long as you're putting little bits of money away into this every month, easily, you can reach $1 million by the time you retire. But you have to remember, you have to be consistent with this, because if you're not, these things can easily slip away. And that $1 million when you're 59 and a half, when you retire, won't exactly be $1 million. So be consistent with this. In any investing in general, be consistent with taking small chunks of your paycheck and just putting it away somewhere, because it can be used to create money in a different way. So the third thing that I would want to talk about today is, obviously, as a photographer and as a photographer trying to start a business, we need gear. Now, this could be a whole separate video on itself, but gear to me, it's investing, and you're investing in yourself, whether it be your education or other gear that you want to tell a better story or to make that better video. Now, the things that I did want to say to that is, don't get too crazy. You hear this oftentimes when people are like thinking, oh, I gotta get the best gear, you know? It's like, well, the best gear can give you the ability to make a great video, but if you're not already practiced with that gear, or you don't kind of like know what you're doing with that gear, then a lot of this gear kind of becomes useless. You won't use it as much, and when you go and spend $200, maybe $300 on a slider, and you only use it once or twice, and you're not really getting your money's worth out of it. So in this category, definitely focus on lenses, maybe a microphone, maybe some lights, and a camera. Definitely be aware of the content that you're making and what you really need for it. When it comes to buying gear, definitely you should be thinking content is king. So your gear doesn't necessarily make you better content. If you have a great story, then you have good content. And that will push your video and make your video production or photography even better. If you have a good story and you have good gear, then this will yield a product or a production that is a lot greater. But if we have a great story and we don't really know how to use our gear, then maybe the story won't translate all the way through as well. So this comes from a practice in both storytelling and knowing how to use your gear. If you know how to use your gear, maybe it's you have one camera, one lens, and this is all you have, you can still tell a great story, and many people don't really think about this. They don't really give themselves the benefit of the doubt. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go buy better gear because that's how I'm gonna tell a better story, and that's not necessarily always true. So think about the gear that you're buying and what you actually need, because sometimes you'll think that you need a better piece of gear, but you really don't. And you know, be real with yourself, be honest with yourself. We're trying to run a business here, you know, you want to save money where you can, because maybe if you save money here, you can put it towards building a website or designing a product that you really want to sell as a business. And this money can be just used better.
So like, comment, subscribe if you want to see any more of this stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.